Hi guys! Welcome to Design Fundamentals, a TOTS Plus premium course. I'm Sarah Khan, and today we're going to have an introduction to interaction design. So here's a brief agenda for what we're going to cover. First, what is interaction design? Second, why you should care. Third, how does this apply to websites? And finally, we'll have a quick assignment. So what is interaction design? The Interaction Design Association has a great definition. Interaction design defines the structure and behaviors of interactive products and services and user interactions with those products and services. So in a nutshell, people have an experience when they use something, whether that something is a physical artifact, a software application, or a website. Interaction design is the art and science of making that experience both effective and satisfying. So why should you care? Think about any object that you interact with on a daily basis. I'm going to pick on my company's coffee maker for a moment. It has two separate on switches. It beeps before it's done, and basically people just have a hard time figuring out how to use it. People who write software for a living can't figure out whether they've turned on the coffee maker or not. I think that's a problem. Now, contrast that with my French press, which I am rather partial to. I pour in water and coffee, I press down the lever, and voila, coffee. These two objects are accomplishing the same thing, brewing coffee. They are doing it very differently, and the user, in this case me, has a different reaction when using each. The stakes are pretty high when you're talking about user experience. In the very best cases, users will experience satisfaction or even outright happiness through interaction. The worst case, on the other hand, can be frustration, confusion, or even the user making the decision to stop using the object. If they're unhappy enough, they might tell their friends. If they love it enough, they also might tell their friends. Customer loyalty is often inversely proportional to how easy your product is to use. An easy-to-use product or website results in more money. Whether you're counting in signups, conversions, or page views, it's really that simple. If you have any doubts, think about Apple. This is a company that has staked their entire business model on making beautiful, easy-to-use things. They might not always have the most features, or even be the best quality on the market, but the Apple product will usually be the sleekest and simplest, and that translates to market share. This is all well and good, but how does it apply to my website, you say? Websites are just like any other artifact that people need to have interactions with. If it's difficult and unpleasant, they won't come back. Your website is competing not only with the websites of your direct competitors, but with search engines, news aggregators, social media sites, video sites, photo gallery sites, the list goes on and on. In short, you've got approximately 6 seconds to prove to your users that your site is easy to use and will help them achieve their end goal with a minimum of resources. The time of your users is your most precious resource. A pretty website is not always a usable website. Let me repeat that. If you get nothing else out of this screencast, I want you to walk away with this point. A pretty website is not always a usable website, considering the following. Craigslist. This is a highly usable but ugly as anything website. Craigslist has a cult-like following of extremely enthusiastic users. In fact, they've tried to redesign it a few times and the users would have none of it. They want straight up classic Craigslist. Because it gets the job done. Now we will look at another example. This is a fine website that I found out in the world, but we're just gonna pick on it a little bit to start with. This site features loads of pretty graphics, the latest JavaScript animations, but I personally find it a bit confusing. As you mouse around, everything moves, and it kind of makes you feel like the thing that you're trying to click is running away from you. And in addition, I don't know if I can get it to do it again, but when you come to it for the first time, whoops, yeah, and see, even that went away. When you come to it for the first time, it shows you that graphic that shows you that you need to scroll on your mouse, which as soon as you need to give your users a pictograph on how to use your site before the page loads, you might have a problem. So let's go and play around with this stuff. If I can get my slide back. Bear with me for a moment. So yeah, that was the that was the experience I had at that Trails and Byways site. So here's a screen from a website that I'm going to send you to in a moment called Simple and Usable, which is a great book that you should consider looking up. The author has a Simplify This challenge. He has a picture of the remote that came with his DVD player and a list of all the functions on it. He found it nearly impossible to use. And he challenges his readers to have a look at it and see if they could come up with a better way to configure it. So your assignment is to go to simpleandusable.com, simplify this, and see if you can do better. And we'll go there real quick so you can see. He gives you a blank remote that you can download. Here's the gallery, the perfect controller. On, off, and read my mind. That would be a trick. So anyway, have a look, see what you can do. It kind of gets you thinking in the right direction. Next time on Design Fundamentals, we're going to cover user interface and usability. This is Sarah Kahn, and from all of us here at TUTS Plus, thanks for listening.